Hello and welcome to our special program here on ABC News Radio, KMET, AM and FM. I'm your host, Paul Lane. Spirituality and safety. During this once-in-a-generation pandemic that we are living through, our team wanted to focus on how religion is meeting this challenge. One organization in particular that we highlighted over the last year showed us how this can be done. We're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. We learned how, during this pandemic, how they shifted their public ministry to a more virtual form of the ministry, whether it be telephone witnessing, letter writing, and even their worshiping. No one worshiped at their physical building, which is the Kingdom Hall, but the virtual Kingdom Hall they worship, all to keep their members safe without watering down the message or preventing ones to practice and express their faith. Has that changed now since states are opening up to full capacity? Are Jehovah's Witnesses now in their Kingdom Hall worshiping again? Are they worshiping at their regional convention in person this year? Well, to answer these questions and more, we're going to ask them about it. And joining me right now, so happy to have him back, U.S. Spokesperson for the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, Robert Hendricks. Robert, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Paul. It's good to be back and doing well. Yeah, we've got through this last 15 months, and we've been healthy, and we feel good. So we're happy to get through it and be safe and continue to be cautious.
Robert, I remember when we first had our chats together, we talked about the virtual meetings, and then we heard about the virtual convention. Hard to believe that all this time has passed and we are back around for another virtual convention. And Robert, many are wondering out there, a lot of people are vaccinated. States are opening up. Why a virtual convention, even though people are vaccinated?
Well, it's a good question, and we understand why many would not understand it, because so much has opened up, and all of us, we have a great desire to see people in person. In fact, we just had our first in-person meeting today, this afternoon, just an hour ago here in our headquarters. We're 97% vaccinated here, and we're able now to function relatively normally here in the complex. But when you think about Jehovah's Witnesses are not just California. They're not just the United States. They're not just one or two countries. We're a global organization. And we need to make global decisions that are good for all of our brothers and sisters. So let's just take our conventions. We have some 800 would have happened here in the United States branch territory. Now, we oversee not just the 50 states, but also 25 supervised lands in the Caribbean. Now, you look at California, and you're in great shape, right? You have, I think, 70% vaccinated, maybe even more. And you look at other states, and it's very different. You look at the Caribbean, and some are in the single digits. And there's a number of reasons why that's happening. It has to do with vaccine availability. It has to do with those who might be hesitant to taking the vaccine. But we're a global organization that invites everyone to our conventions. So no matter where you are in the world, if you are a Jehovah's Witness or a member of the public, and you're traveling from Brazil or Paraguay or Jamaica into the United States, and you want to attend a local convention in California of Jehovah's Witnesses, the doors are open to you to attend. In fact, we invite all of our neighbors. We're not going to say to our neighbors, are you vaccinated or not? And we're not going to ticket our events. That has not happened in the history of Jehovah's Witnesses. Not saying it won't happen in the future, it could. But at this point, we invite everyone. And there are ways that we have in order to deliver our message to everyone and in order to handle the spiritual needs of everyone without restricting it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay virtual. We believe that as we do that, we'll be able to embrace many, many more. And as we look at the world and the globe in general, all the global situation, our 6,000 conventions, as we look at the United States branch territory and our 26 countries that we oversee, we'll make a good decision for the future in 2022. But in 2021, we're virtual. And frankly, our brothers and sisters are couldn't be happier to know that not only are they going to be safe, but they're also going to be able to get spiritual food, a spiritual program that is powerful coming right into their home. So we're looking forward to it.
Robert, thank you so much for sharing that. I remember getting some feedback here at the station from ones who are Jehovah's Witnesses who heard our segment about virtual conventions and how much they really appreciate it. And Robert, it really shows that the organization has taken everyone's situation just at heart when it comes to these virtual conventions. You have ones who, like myself, who may be confined to a wheelchair and it's hard to travel. Maybe some ones who have social anxiety. But it seems like the virtual convention has helped even ones who are up in age who can't get around a lot. So did the organization realize just the positive impact that this would have on one's a part of that segment of the population?
I think that our eyes have been opened to the extent of folks who really felt that these conventions serve them well. Now, I think that there's always a trade-off, not being able to care for our disabled brothers and sisters right at the convention facility where we try to do that. We would rather see our friends in person. But frankly, many of our facilities that we use are public facilities that were built 30, 40 years ago. The Disabilities Act that was passed by the federal government, some of them predate these new innovations to have accessibility. And so we've had to work around that in our conventions. We've had to work around sound issues. We've had to work around the limitations for those who are disabled. And we've done a good job of that. And we're going to continue to do that. But when we went to virtual conventions, and it wasn't our choice, right? It was the situation dictated that. I don't think any of us really saw or foresaw how parents of 3 young children would benefit, how the deaf would benefit, how the hearing impaired would benefit. How those who were confined to a wheelchair would benefit. In the case of last year, how those who had just overcome or were in the midst of COVID would benefit. How those who are chronically ill would benefit. The elderly would benefit. And I think that it was such a powerful moment for the organization and for many people in the field that there was no hesitation really to start early and in earnest back in December, January, in planning for this year's conventions and making sure that it's the best virtual experience it can be given the circumstances that we have.
And the feedback really showed that it was. It definitely was. And Robert, you want to touch on something that you talked about why the virtual convention. And that is, you don't know who's vaccinated or not if you did an in-person convention, because this pandemic is still dangerous out there, still taking lives, one's still being affected by it. And it really showed that the organization is really making sure that people are safe. And I remember before, it was a principle that you talked about before. And I'm sorry, Robert, I didn't mean to cut you off, please.
Oh, no, I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows we're not advocating vaccines. So vaccines are a personal issue, a personal decision. And we know that there are many good reasons for folks not to, and it may not have anything to do with a political issue or a conspiracy. It may have something to do with cancer treatment or some other very, very legitimate and really all folks' feelings regarding this issue are legitimate, and so we get that. I just want to make sure that. But my point about vaccinations is that the vaccines have done a tremendous job in putting out the fire in this country, and there are places that are in the single digits. There are places in this world that are suffering greatly and are peaking right now with COVID-19. And all of those are countries and places and states where our brothers live. And we're a very mobile society, especially when it comes to California. California is a great destination to go to visit and then to go visit a convention. And we don't have a ticketed event. These are public events. And we want to make sure that everyone is safe, not only literally, but also they feel safe. And we just weren't ready to make that decision this year. And hopefully in the future, we will be once again.
And Robert, we know that Jehovah's Witnesses are known for the public ministry. And we know that during this pandemic, things were adjusted in the way the witnesses do their public ministry, phone calls, letter writing. When it comes to this convention right here, that we notice that the organization is really going through great lengths to invite ones to this wonderful convention right here. And why so?
You're absolutely right. We have a global media campaign that was kicked off several weeks ago. So you're the first of many interviews for me regarding the convention. Actually, I did one in Toledo just a couple of weeks ago, but it's happening all over the world. So we're inviting everybody to to this global event. We are writing letters, and to all of our congregations have begun this to send invitations to this global event. It's important to us because we feel like a convention with a theme, powerful by faith, just like last year, joy, remain joyful. Today, we're talking about faith and how faith really is what got us through the last 15 months. It's our faith in our Creator that helps us to see a bright future. And so it's such a perfect theme for all of the public right now, because so many have lost their faith in institutions, whether that's the church, whether it's government, whether it's school, education, but we still can have faith in our Creator and the promises that He's given us. And so this, again, like last year, is really a gift to the world at exactly the right time. And we want as many folks to attend as is possible.
Robert, what we're going to do right here, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll delve in a little deeper to the virtual convention. We'll talk about the different themes, because different themes throughout the 3 days. So we'll dive into that, and also what ones can expect to see during this convention. Is it okay if I hold you over?
It's a pleasure. No problem.
All right. We'll be back with more with Robert Hendricks, U.S. spokesperson for the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. We'll delve a little deeper in the convention that Jehovah's Witnesses are doing this year virtually. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back right after these messages.